Everyone is talking about the app that makes your face look older, but what are the apps Russian developers really doing with your photos? Take a look at this. Boy, they must have put about 100 years on me. Take a look at that photo. Now that's about 30 years. FaceApp gives you a glimpse of what you might look like 30 or 40 years from now. It's been downloaded by more than 100 million people. Fun and harmless, right? But if you read the fine print in the terms of agreement, it says the app makers can basically use your photos for any reason, and they can do it without your explicit permission or payment. Here to talk about this is tech expert Nick Wolny and public relations consultant Jack Way. Glad to have you guys here on The Factor Uncensored. Now, I thought this was fun. I saw everyone doing it on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook, but then the warnings came out from different news organizations. So what do we have to worry about, Nick?
Well, what caused a lot of it to become really overblown, in my opinion, is that there was concern over whether the app could actually harvest all of your photos on your phone. There was a post on Twitter, there was some confusion. It was specifically for iOS users. And what they found, or what they realized, is that, that's actually been something that's already in effect. Apple has already allowed that functionality. Even if you give an app if you don't give an app permission to access all your photos, you can still upload an individual photo in order for it to be used. So that's part of why this misinformation is spreading like wildfire today, is you had kind of a specific event. Of course, it started on Twitter. That's what kind of where everything starts to go crazy.
But when people hear the word Russians, then they get concerned about what's happening because, we've had the Democratic National Committee headquarters that had a breach, and then there are questions about the presidential election.
Right. And they put out a statement. They put out a statement this afternoon, like, we don't want any candidates to specifically be tampering with this app. We don't really know what's going on with it. TechCrunch had the leading story on this, and while the R&D is based in Russia for this app, they say that the data, that a user's data, doesn't necessarily go over to Russian lines. Now, what does that actually mean? We need to find out more information before we can really make
Jacob, do you trust what they're saying? Or do you feel comfortable using the app? And have you used it foolishly like I did?
So when I saw that it was popular again, I felt like I was back in 2017 when it was popular the first time around.
And they quit it then because it made darker people lighter.
Yeah, so there's a lot of racism concerns before. And then this time around, when I started hearing about the Russian involvement and the Russian research and development, I elected not to use the app. I think that it's okay for people to use that don't care how their photos or their information is used. But like my siblings and a lot of friends and family have said that they're concerned about their kids being on the app or themselves. Also, if you have a future in politics or a future business owner, you may want to be careful about what apps you let use your private information and your photos.
Now, you had a post on Facebook that caught my attention. So how are people reacting in the public on your Facebook page?
Sure. So I'm getting mixed reviews. A couple people are saying that folks who have not used it yet are being high and mighty and saying, oh, I haven't used the app because I'm better than that. But ultimately, I think some people are a little concerned about their privacy. And the fact that the app is able to use your photo and your name anywhere in the world that they want to is something that's very concerning as well.
I do have to speak to that, though, because the app, the data that's uploaded, they won't necessarily know your name per se. And so, what's important about this, the user functionality of this app that's important for people to realize is that, you don't need to create a profile. That's part of why this app is going so viral. It's 100 million downloads, is that you can download it and you can start using it immediately and then get your
But you just have to grant that permission. And that's what's leaving people hesitant.
Right. Well, in terms of creating the specific profile, so on the app's end, they only hold the photo that you have uploaded, and it's not connected to your name or your personal information because you haven't created an account of any kind on that app to begin with. So I think what is a win, though, is that people are thinking about their privacy when normally they don't care about their privacy at all. They're like, oh, I got to hop on this hashtag, all this stuff. So I think it's a win for that reason. And people are thinking, oh, when I upload this photo, where is that going? You know, okay, I just press a couple of buttons and I look 50 years older. That's so cool. But I wonder what's happening. I wonder where that photo is going. Oh, my photo could, you know, end up in marketing collateral somewhere. Oh, like I'm actually signing away permission for this photo to be used for, you know, potential marketing purposes or something like that. The fact that people are thinking about that is great, especially when we have stuff like Facebook Libra, you know, they're going to make a cryptocurrency and they're terrible with privacy, you know. So for people to be thinking about that, I think is a really important.
And in the time remaining, really quick, tell us a little bit about this company that people are concerned about when they call it a Russian company.
Well, the app, FaceApp, I keep wanting to say FaceTime. The app, the R&D, so the specific design, the engineers are based in St. Petersburg. And so that's what's also causing some of the language to be a little bit more around, like, you know, it's a Russian app, the app is Russian. It's normal for a lot of these apps to have their departments be global and to be sourcing talent globally. And so the R&D being Russian-based, that's what people are kind of hopping off of. The founder of the app has published in an exclusive interview with TechCrunch extensive explanation of how the app works, you know, what the technology is, and also how to get your data back off of the app. If you're someone who has downloaded it, you just go into the settings section of the app, you report a bug, and you type the word privacy, and they will take anything that you've ever posted right back off the app for you. So that's a solution.
All right,
as well.
Nick. And Jacob, really quick, your last word, 10 seconds, 20 seconds.
Of course, so like I said, I think it is okay for people that want a little bit of entertainment to use the app, but if you have a future in owning a business or running for office or something, do take into consideration these privacy concerns when you grant access to your data and to your photos for your app usage.
All right.